Hey everybody, it's low carb and keto nutrition specialist Amy Berger bringing you, as always, keto without the crazy. One quick reminder to check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/toitnutrition. There's a link below. If you enjoy keto without the crazy, if you like having someone help you make sense of all the confusing and conflicting and scary, fear-inducing stuff out there about low carb and keto diets, if you need help with your low carb or keto diet, if you want to be able to interact with me live and ask questions and help you tweak and troubleshoot, check out Patreon. I have lots of new offerings. I've just updated the tiers. I've updated what you can get by being a Patreon supporter. All right, enough of that. Do you have concern trolls in your life? What is a concern troll? A concern troll is someone who seems to mean well, they appear to mean well, but maybe their underlying motives aren't that altruistic. And when it comes to keto, this could be a family member, a friend, a coworker, a random acquaintance who has expressed concern to you over the potential harm that could come to your health through this new low carb slash ketogenic diet that you have adopted. All of a sudden, this person is very concerned about your health when they never said boo ever before. This could be a new acquaintance. It could be someone you've known for 20 years. It could be your parent. It could be a sibling. It could be anybody in your life. You've decided to stop eating sugar and starch, and all of a sudden, they're worried about your health. How kind of them to take an interest in your health, right? So I'm actually going to read you something that I posted in a private group I'm part of. I printed it out just so I could read it here. I am an admin in a private group, and I wrote this post in response to several questions that we have been getting from people asking how to deal with these people, with the concern trolls. You know, my brother sent me this article that said keto is bad for the kidneys. My second grade teacher sent me this link that said keto makes my pancreas explode. You know, because chances are you have some of these well-meaning yet not so well-meaning people in your life, so you know exactly what I'm getting at. How do you deal with these people? And I'm going to read this, and I may stop to voice an extra little opinion that's not in here. Okay. Whew. Where do I start? I've seen a few posts here with people mentioning questions or warnings, really, from family members and friends who were worried about this dangerous wackadoodle fad keto diet crazy train you've hopped aboard. We call this concern trolling. These people appear to mean well, but ... Isn't it interesting that you stopped eating sugar and starch, and all of a sudden these folks are so worried about your health? Where was the concern back when you may have been reaching for a second helping of spaghetti and breadsticks and they knew you had type 2 diabetes? Nobody seemed to have any vested interest whatsoever in what you put in your mouth until now. Funny how that works, isn't it? Coworkers are suddenly worried that your kidneys are going to explode when they never said a word as they watch donuts and cake get passed around at the office holiday party. Your cousin's hairdresser's brother-in-law's fourth grade school librarian is sending you links about keto being toxic to the kidneys or some such, or the liver. Here are ways to deal with these people. 1, understand that most of them mean well. They are concerned, but I stand by what I said earlier. None of them ever expressed the slightest bit of concern for your health back when you were eating who knows what and possibly barely making it through the day, barely surviving and remembering to take 7 or 10 different medications all throughout the day. Where was their concern then? Okay. The problem is they only know of keto as butter on top of butter with more butter and a side of MCT oil. Obviously, the way things we do here and the way we do things here, and I mean in that private group, is very different. These concern trolls are basing their supposed concerns on the outlandish and very false stereotypes of what a low carbohydrate diet truly is. They're basing it off the crazy wackadoodle stuff that you do see on the internet, right? I would be against that kind of approach too. I would be against the crazy wackadoodle approach too. But it's hard to argue if you would just say, I eat good quality proteins, non-starchy vegetables, and healthy fats. It's hard to think someone would try to talk you out of that crazy strategy, yet that is exactly the kind of keto diet you're doing. What? They think you should eat more sugar? Oh no. Don't eat those non-starchy vegetables and that chicken. You should be eating candy bars. So, and I will link, I'm going to pause here in my reading. I'm going to link below in the notes to a video that I did that was a very passionate rant about well-meaning but uninformed and sadly ignorant medical and nutrition professionals who warn you against keto. And part of the many things I covered in that video was this exact thing, that anyone who's trying to talk you out of keto is probably doing that because they don't understand that keto is just normal good food that's really low in carbohydrate, right? It's not what they think it is. It's not this insane stuff that they see, or at least not the way I teach it, not the way Dr. Westman teaches it, not the way we teach it at Adapt Your Life Academy. We have those online courses. That's not the kind of keto or low carb or carbohydrate restricted diet we teach. But that's, they're basing that fear off of that. And so, all right, number 2 is the best. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Nope, not ever. If you don't want to engage in the conversation because it's almost never worth it anyway, just politely say that you prefer not to discuss what you eat and simply change the subject. You don't have to engage in the conversation, right? You are not under any obligation to explain what you as an autonomous adult choose to put in your mouth or not put in your mouth. Again, explaining, justifying, or defending your diet is simply not required, ever. My friend Casey Durango, Go Keto with Casey, we're having an event in October in Greensboro, North Carolina, the Go Keto with Casey Roadshow. I'll put a link below. My friend Casey Durango has the greatest line. Nobody gets a vote on what you eat. I don't know if I've ever said this in a video before. I've said it at public events. I don't know why grown adults are so concerned with what other grown adults put in their mouth. And you can interpret that any which way you like because it works in a lot of different situations, doesn't it? And if you do this strategy, if you say, I'd really just, it's such a heated topic, it's so I know diet is as bad as religion and politics these days, I'd really rather not talk about what I eat, let's talk about something else. If somebody refuses to take that for an answer, which is kind of childish that they would insist on talking about your diet, but if they do, I'm gonna go out on a little limb here. You could ask them a wildly inappropriate question and say that's just as inappropriate as asking about your diet. Oh, well, what do I eat? Why am I doing keto? What sexual position do you prefer? What do you and your boyfriend like best? What do you and your girlfriend? What do you and your partner like best? Oh, that position? Oh, that's no good. You should try. It's not a subject that anyone needs to talk about in public unless they want to, and the person they want to talk about it with wants to talk about it. There are certain topics that should be allowed to be off limits, and all you have to do is say, I'd prefer not to talk about it. And again, if the person doesn't like that, then you just come back at them with a very charged question, and they will get the message pretty darn quick that there are certain things that you just don't want to discuss with anyone else. Okay. I didn't write that in the post in this group. That's just for us friends here on the YouTube channel. All right. I'm going to say that I'm going to read one more thing. This was specific to the group. That is a private group for the students of our Keto Made Simple Masterclass, and the course is taught by Dr. Westman. So this answer is specific to the method of keto that Dr. Westman teaches, which is the page 4 diet, link below if you want to check out the page 4 diet. That's his food list. But so I think this applies to a lot of other versions of keto too, but this was specific to the way that we teach it in that course. If you do want to explain what you're doing, consider saying something like this. I am following a program created by a physician who has been using this in a medical clinic at Duke University for more than 2 decades, and there are no body bags lined up outside his door. Quite the opposite, in fact. People are losing hundreds of pounds. They're getting off long lists of medications. They're becoming free of type 2 diabetes, PCOS, hypertension, fatty liver disease, acid reflux, and more. And other doctors were doing this for decades, long before Dr. Westman ever even got started in the field. You can also say the doctor who created the program you're following is a past president of the Obesity Medicine Association, and he co-authored the textbook that they used to train other doctors who were getting board certified in obesity medicine. He is hardly a quack. This is hardly a fad. This is hardly some wackadoodle, nonsensical, unsafe, harmful thing that this highly credentialed physician is telling you to do, or that you are choosing to do. You could also tell them there's a nutritionist on staff who helped to write the curriculum the American Nutrition Association uses to train other certified nutrition specialists in the ketogenic diet. And she is also on the committee that writes the board exam to issue the CNS credential. Okay. The fact of all this is, these people, these concern trolls, these friends and family that are so worried about your health now that you say no to the donuts at the office party, these people may very well be concerned. They very well could be. But why now? Why all of a sudden? Where were they when you first got put on a certain medication? Where were they when your mobility first began to be limited? Why didn't they speak up when you were first prescribed insulin? Did they have no concern for your health then? They didn't care about your health 2 years ago or 10 years ago. Now, all of a sudden, your safety and well-being is their priority, their concern? No. Look, I said I'm sorry if this comes off as a bit harsh. It's just the truth is most of these people don't honestly want to hear about the safety of ketogenic diets. They might claim to be interested in seeing some research, but very few of them actually mean it and would ever take the time to read those papers. So you probably have some of these well-meaning but busybody, nosy-body people in your life. And you can choose to interact with them as much or as little as you choose. Now, when I say interact, I mean interact about your diet and your food choices. If it's a spouse, if it's your child, if it's your parent, you probably are interacting them with a lot. You can't, but I mean interact specifically with discussions and conversations about what you do and do not eat. Like literally, you just don't even have to engage in the conversation. If they ask you and you don't want to bother, don't bother. You simply don't have to answer. You just say, I'd rather not discuss it. Let's talk about something. And be polite, be diplomatic, unless they start to escalate. Well, no, but US News says that keto does blah, and then my da. Respond if you want to, but listen, and anyone that's saying, they're forwarding you this article from whatever source that keto makes this happen, or low carb does this, and do you honestly think they want a rebuttal from you? Do you honestly think, if you send them links to 5 research studies on PubMed, do you honestly think there is one snowball's chance in hell that they are going to actually go to those links and read the papers? That is a numbers don't even go that low. The probability of that happening, numbers low enough to describe that probability simply do not exist. Okay, so that's it for now. It is a waste of your time and your emotional and mental energy to bother trying to find research to rebut, because you don't have to rebut. Right? If you are concerned, that's different. If you have questions, then hopefully you're working with a keto-friendly doctor or nutritionist or dietitian. Get information from them. If you have lingering doubts, like what if this is bad for my liver? What if this is bad for my hormones? It's not an illegitimate question, but you're never going to change somebody's mind. Don't even bother trying. You just stick to the plan, feel great, look great, get healthier, get the results you want, and you just be the silent example, because nothing speaks louder than great results. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And again, if you want help, check out Patreon. There's no long-term commitment. You can sign up for a month or 2 or 3 months and quit if you don't like it. Sit in on a couple of the calls, see what I offer besides live calls and stuff. And if you love it, you just keep going. If you hate it, you just cancel at any time. But that's a good way to get a lot more time with me, and to get things that are not available to anyone else anywhere else. And well, they're available to the patrons. And it's a lot cheaper than booking a consultation with me. I do one-on-one consultations. You could get several months of subscribing to my Patreon for the price of one consultation. So if you want a little more help with keto, you want trusted information, you want a safe, supportive, non-judgmental atmosphere in which to ask questions and express concerns, check out my Patreon. And that's it. See you next time.